Growl, growl, prowl, prowl. Hello, my friends. I am the Lion of Truth. And today I have a very special video to you. I have a video that is very close, near and dear to my own heart. And that is a video on safe rooms, in Resident Evil. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to title this video, but I know deep down in my heart that I've wanted to make this video for at least a couple years now because of the impact that save rooms have on me whenever I enter one of them in Resident Evil. Now, what you just saw was a clip of my first playthrough of Resident Evil 1. The remake. I played it back a year ago in 2019 for the first time ever. And I was low on ammo, running around. I was lost. I was low on health. I don't know if I had any ammo at all. I don't think I had any health items. Yeah, it's on my playlist if you want to go check out the full video, Resident Evil 1 Remake. I played the whole thing blind. I always play my games blind. I never look things up. I play on the hardest difficulties, always, because that's where I get the most fun and the most challenge. And that's what I believe most developers, wanted the game to be played as, So it's just, this video that I'm making here is just talking about the safe rooms and their impact that they've had on me throughout my life, and the contrast that they represent between the darkness and the light and the good and the evil within the Resident Evil franchise. But not only that, and how it parallels to the world and to the universe that we find ourselves in, that we live in. So personally, I've been thinking about it recently, and I think the truth is, for me, when it comes to Resident Evil, all the games, I think my favorite aspect of each game, honest to God, is the safe rooms and the music that accompanies those rooms. Going back to my history with Resident Evil. So the first time I ever played was back in, I want to say 2004, 2005. I was at EB Games. For those of you that are old like me, you remember EB Games, they were like GameStop, and GameStop's dying too, but I think GameStop bought EB Games eventually. I was in the mall at EB Games. My mom was doing whatever she does, shopping for clothes or something that moms do. And I was in the store, in the EB Game store, just waiting for her to come pick me up, and I was looking at all the games in there. And I'll never forget seeing the GameCube. I was on the left side of the store, seeing the GameCube with the TV there and the beautiful GameCube controller, and on the screen it said 3 words, right? Resident Evil 4. And oh wow, the video just transitioned into that really, really smoothly, guys. I edited all the clips before I made the audio of this, and it just zipped right into RE4 as I said that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Perfect timing. Wow, look at that. So I remember seeing those words. I was like, what is this? Resident Evil 4? I was a kid, you guys. How old was I in 2004? I was young, dude. I was a kid, right? I was very young. And I should not have been playing this game. Let's just put it that way. I was way too young for this game. And I go in and I grab the controller, and it's there, and I play it, and it's just like this section through the village, right? I remember going through the village in the very beginning of RE4, where you meet that guy who's putting a log into the fire, and then you meet your first quote-unquote save room right outside of that house. You kill a couple guys who come to attack you, and then there's that tiny little cabin, that little hut, the little shed outside, and there's a typewriter in there for RE4, and that was my first introduction to save rooms in Resident Evil. And it wasn't even a total save room. It was wide open, and there was just an entrance and no door. It was just an entrance with no door there, and you could just walk right in, and its typewriter was on your left. And I remember clicking on it, and it came up with that beautiful music, the beautiful typewriter music, and I loved it. I was like, wow, this is great, and I saved my game. But that wasn't a full safe room, in my opinion. The first safe room in the game is, at least one of them, my personal favorite one, is the one you're looking at right now. Is the one where you actually end up getting Ashley. I don't remember where the actual first safe room is in the game, to be honest with you, but I think there's only 2 that I can really recall. There was the one by the troll, by the big, Gigante. I forget what he is, like an ogre. I think there's one by him, and that's where the merchant is underneath, like down by the water, down below, under the mountain pass. And then there's this one, and this is my personal favorite one in the entire series, or in the entire game, because you have Ashley here, and you have the candlelit room, and then you have, and I can't remember, I'm struggling to remember if the music plays in this room. I think it does. I think the music's playing in the background. I know I laced it on top of this video for sure. I layered it on top, but I'm pretty sure the music plays here, and I just love the tone and the atmosphere of this entire thing here with Resident Evil 4. You got the candle. I love this safe room. You got the candles on top, you know, the lantern up top with the glowing fire. You have Ashley in there who looks terrified every now and then. You know, she's just looking around the room being absolutely terrified about what's happening, because she has no idea what's going on. She just got captured, you know, by these random guys. She's the president's daughter. She got captured. She doesn't know what is going on here. She's with this random man who came to save her named Leon. And then you have the thunder and lightning in the background there, peeking through the window. I wish I could explain to you guys the setting and the dripping tone and atmosphere that I feel from this shot. I took this myself, you know, I set up the camera angle and everything. I wanted to get the typewriter in the shot. I wanted to get Ashley in the shot. I wanted to get the window and the candles and the lantern. I wanted to get all of that in the same exact shot. You have no idea how long it took me to get this shot, but I got it, and then I recorded it, and here we are. So yeah, you know, the idea that, going back to like the whole concept of the video, is just the idea that there's this horrible environment surrounded by darkness, surrounded by demons, monsters, zombies, or whatever you want to call them, terrorist weapons, you know, out to hunt you and maim you and kill you and dismember you in horrible, terrifying ways. You have that juxtaposed and contrasted with these safe rooms, these rooms that are located throughout the games randomly in different areas that are completely and utterly impenetrable. You are totally serene, you are safe, you are away from danger, you know. There is no chance of getting hurt. No enemies can enter a safe room. No bad guys. I don't think I've seen any other NPC characters besides Ashley enter a safe room before. Like, it is just your own little getaway, your private oasis inside this world of darkness and terror and fear. And to me, that contrast that exists between the monsters that are just outside the door ready to rip you to shreds, and then the safe, serene, calming, relaxing music where you just feel at peace, you feel tranquil. That contrast that it creates is the aspect that draws me in the most, the deepest personally, to any Resident Evil game. And I'm not exactly sure why. It's hard for me to articulate exactly why, you know. And then you have Resident Evil 5, which didn't even have safe rooms, which breaks my heart to pieces, because they took out a core, you know, part of the game, a core part of the franchise, which makes me very sad. I think it would have been much better if they had safe rooms. You could have had, you know, Ashley. You could have had your characters co-op, Sheva and Chris, you know, one of them, if you're playing together and you're fighting, one of them runs left, the other one runs right, and then you hear your buddy screaming over the mic like, "Oh my god, I found a safe room. Get over here, bro. Like, there's weapons in here, and it's okay. We're not gonna get hurt." You know, I think that would have been so much better than there being no safe rooms at all in RE5. And just full disclosure, I've played Resident Evil 1, 2, 4, 5, the beginning of 6, and all of 7. I probably played 7 and 4 the most out of all of them. And then, I played 1, 2, right? So 1, 2, 4, 5, a little bit of 6 and 7. So I gotta play 6, I gotta play 3, I gotta play Code Veronica. I played Resident Evil Revelations, I did that. And I did Revelations 2 before the DLCs. I beat that as well. So, yeah. I love them. My favorite ones, obviously, I mean, without a doubt, 1, 4, and 7 are my top 3 favorites. Not only in games, but in the safe rooms, too, which is kind of coincidental, right? It's funny how my favorite games just happen to have my favorite safe rooms and the safe room music as well. So I'm really sad that 5 didn't do it well. I love, number 1, how it had the lantern on there. It had the lantern on the desk. It says, there's a lantern on the desk. The warm light makes you relax. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's just that hopeless feeling. And another thing is, forget about actually being in the safe room. Finding the safe room and discovering one has its own peace, its own satisfaction, and its own joy that it's just hard for me to articulate. But here I am trying to make a video on it to try to get you guys to understand the psychological mind and my psychological perspective on this whole situation. When you are playing a new Resident Evil game and you are running for your life, you are low on ammo, you have no health, you have no means of defending yourself, and you are lost and scared. You don't know where you're going, you don't know the layout of the environment that you're in. And then you randomly stumble into this room. I remember it in Resident Evil 7, man. I was running away from the bakers. I was running away from Jack, and I stumbled into the Resident Evil 7 safe room, and just that feeling you get. You see the tape recorder there on the table, and the music starts playing, and you're just like, oh my God, is this a safe room? Am I okay in here? Like, I'm not gonna get murdered, I'm not gonna get ripped to shreds. And this wave of tranquility, this wave of peace just washes over you, and you're like, wow. You start to really understand the environment that you're in. You start to comprehend the contrast, the beautiful contrast between the room that you're standing in, the music you're listening to, and what you were just experiencing 10 seconds ago, running away from whatever monster that led you here. And just that feeling, guys, of knowing, okay, there's weapons here, I'm safe for now, I'm okay for now. Let me regain my thoughts, let me regain my composure, look around for any usable items in here, save my game, and then get back out there to the grind, back out to the darkness, back out to the monsters. Something about that contrast draws me in endlessly, and it will continue to draw me in for the rest of my life. To the point, guys, it is to the extreme in my heart that I just saw the Resident Evil 8 trailer, by the way, for Village, which looks like a masterpiece in its own right. But you know what I thought of almost immediately after I finished watching it? Just a couple hours after I watched it for the first time, I started to think, what am I most excited for? What is my favorite part of the entire Resident Evil series? What is the thing that's really that they could screw up if they do it wrong, that would really piss me off? Number 1 would be too much action. I never want too much action in my Resident Evil games, and that's why I'm scared to play 6, because I've heard and I've seen videos that there's just so much damn action in that game and not enough fear and scares, and I don't think there's safe room, and if there's not safe room music in Resident Evil 6, I've heard, which scares me. I haven't played 0 either, by the way. I gotta play 0 as well, just remembered, and Code Veronica and all that. So yeah, I'm like, God dang. They need to remake 0, or they need to remake Code Veronica. That's like number 1, definitely. And then apparently they're going to do 4 as well. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was like, what's the thing they could do in RE8 that would really screw it over for me, that would really piss me right off, And I was thinking, and what am I most excited for? And I'm like, dude, it's the safe rooms. I want to see the safe rooms. What are the designs of the safe rooms? The unique designs that they got going on. I hope they have, the castle one up at the top with the vampires, a village one. I would like if they have one in the woods somewhere, just all these different types of safe rooms. And I hope they have good music in the safe rooms, because the music is something that has been ingrained itself into my heart, the most. Honestly, the most. It's the thing that I really do think it's the thing I love the most about Resident Evil, above everything else. I love the characters, I love the story, I love everything. I love the music of the games and everything in the gameplay. But if I had to pick just one aspect that really is going to sit with me forever, it's those rooms where you are running for your life and then you stumble into a safe haven and you get that sigh of relief, that moment of relief where, that serenity, that little piece of, okay, I'm down on my luck and things are not going very well, but I'm here. I got to save the game. Everything's gonna be okay in the end. I'm gonna find my way through this darkness. And to top it all off, guys, in a couple of the games, like in 1 and 7 and 2, you have to find these things that are either called ink ribbons or cassette tapes in RE7, where you have a very limited number of saves on the hard difficulty. So you can't just go saving the game willy-nilly with auto saves and all these things. No. If you die, you get reverted back to the exact last safe room and cassette tape, that you used, or ink ribbon that you used. So if that was 10 minutes ago, okay, you're back 10 minutes. If that was an hour ago, guess what? You just lost an hour of your progress. So the save rooms also add this other layer of depth and progression into the games that is just unmatched, in my opinion, by any other checkpoint or autosave system from any game. In other games, you do something and all of a sudden it says checkpoint on the screen. Like I'm playing Gears of War now, and it says checkpoint on the bottom, and it's there. And I guess it works for some games, right? But for Resident Evil, the best way, in my opinion, bar none, hands down on the table, the best way to save your game in Resident Evil is when you are alone, terrified, down on resources, and you have a very limited number of saves. You might only have 1 or 2 cassette tapes or 2 ink ribbons left, and then you stumble into that room shambling with zombies chasing you down, and you're bleeding out on the floor, and you have no ammo, and then you have to think to yourself, and you're like, is this a point where I want to save the game? Do I want to use one of my ink ribbons? Do I want to use my last cassette tape to save the game here? Because once I do, that's it. That's it. You see what I'm saying? I don't have any more. I don't have any more ways to save the game. I don't have any more ways to, progress forward from here unless I find more cassette tapes or more ink ribbons. And it creates this weight on your shoulders, this feeling of heaviness. Do I use my cassette tape? Do I use my ink ribbon, or do I save it and risk it and go back out into that darkness to fight those monsters, to try to progress further, to find items and weapons, then to save it with more items in my cassette, in my cache, in my safe, and it just creates this dichotomy of do I do this or this, this fear and this hope. And I don't think it's been matched by any game ever made, guys. Resident Evil, to me, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the series is just climbing up my favorite games list to the point where I'm like, it is honestly up there now. It's getting up there with like my top 3 favorite franchises, up with, Mario and Zelda. And that might be it. It might even at this point surpassed and usurped Halo for me. Because Halo, they've been destroying that franchise for the past couple of years. I hope Halo Infinite comes out in July. They blow our minds away with the Halo Infinite news coming. But that's it, guys. Resident Evil, I love them all. Every single game I've ever played of it. I'm scared to play 6, with all the action. 3 is supposed to have a lot of action too. But I'm going to play every single one. Make no mistake, I'll play them all. And then I'm going to play them all in order leading up to Resident Evil 8 in 2021. Hoping and praying that game does not come out until December 2021. Push it to the very end of the year, Capcom. Push it to the very end. The game is covered in snow. It takes place in winter. Give it to us in winter. Give it to us at the end of 2021, right around Christmas time, please. Let us get excited. Let us be pumped. Let us be freezing cold and covered in snow when we play that game. You know what I mean? Don't release it in the summer or the spring or the fall when it doesn't connect with the season in the game. Not only that will it connect with the game, but it gives Capcom more time. Give them more time. Give them this whole year and a half to work on the game. Right now it's June 2020. It's June 18th, the day The Last of Us comes out. It comes out tonight. I can't wait to play Last of Us 2. I'm going to be streaming it. Hopefully that game has great music as well, guys. If that game has great music and great gameplay, I will forgive the story, okay? If the story is absolute garbage, I will forgive the story. Not entirely. It's still going to knock the score down for me for sure, and I plan on doing a review for The Last of Us 2. But as long as it has good gameplay and good music, the story being complete garbage, which is what the rumors and the leaks are saying, as long as it has the other 2 things, I'll be okay with it. I will let the story slide. I'll say, yeah, it wasn't as good as The Last of Us Part 1 and story, but the music and the gameplay were just as good, if not better. That's what I'm hoping for Last of Us Part 2. So I'll be streaming that tonight. But anyway, guys, that's neither here nor there. This is about Resident Evil right now. And Resident Evil, to me, is the greatest, survival horror franchise of all time. I just want, Silent Hill needs to come back. I've never played it before, but I heard that's another great one. Evil Within is another great one for me. Dead Space, these are just, the best of the best of some of the games that are ever made, in my opinion. These games are just masterpieces in their own right. All of them. And they deserve your time and attention. Especially if you are afraid of games, especially if you are afraid of things that go bump in the night. You need to play these games. You need to awaken this darkness that is inside of all of us, and you need to experience it, this fear that has existed in our genes and our genetics for hundreds and thousands of years. You need to experience it and wake it up. Our ancestors had it. And now it's time for us to experience it as well. But they had it in a much more realistic way. They were actually living outside. When they heard things go bump in the night, it was really life or death for them. And we don't have that in today's world in first world countries. You know, we all live in sheltered places with four walls and a ceiling where things can still get you if they really wanted to, but most of the time you are safe. And playing Resident Evil, playing these horror games really takes you out of that comfort zone and puts you into a world, puts you into an environment where you are weak, where you are not capable, you are not ready and not prepared or equipped to deal with the darkness and the monsters that are coming to destroy you. And that feeling of helplessness really humbles you as a human. It really humbles you as a person. It makes you appreciate fear, and it makes you appreciate the dark and the monsters and creatures that lie underneath your bed at night. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed the video. Resident Evil safe rooms and the music that accompanies them is my favorite part of the entire series. Let me know what you think. If you like the safe rooms, if you don't like them, what your thoughts are, what are your opinions. Thanks for stopping by. Please comment and subscribe. I'm just a lion out here trying to grow. Gonna get this video going, get it up, get it uploaded. I got videos coming every single day through now, right? Like I said, it's June now until mid-October, late October. I have videos uploading every single day coming up, guys. They're all scheduled and ready to go. So I think I'm ahead of the entire YouTube game when it comes to content, man. Like as far as consistent, I got videos uploading at the same time every single day for months. I got months of content coming. All right, take care, guys. See you in the next video. I am the Lion of Truth. To infinity and beyond.